Hello, this is Brian Idle Edsel Dieterich, and I have with me here Rob Conger.
Yes, you do.
And we're going to ask Rob a little about some of the artists and some of his art school and some of his life.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we left off. Rob went to art school at Virginia Commonwealth University, and he went to the graduate art program at Yale.
Yep.
Both of them was your specialty sculpting, huh?
Well, it was the sculpture program. I went to undergrad in the 80s where there was still sculpture. And then I graduated in the 90s where there wasn't so much sculpture anymore. So kind of got like a mixed media or a multimedia or a video and art mixture background. It was a transformative time.
So did you learn some of your editing and graphics there? Is that how you got started learning?
No. Let me tell you. The history of my education as it applies to my life in terms of importance is one, a 10th grade typing class, and I think a lot of people agree with that. But I took a half a credit of typing, and then number two was a half credit Photoshop class that I took in grad school, taught by a guy from Connecticut Community College, not from Yale, because, it had just come out. I learned on Photoshop 1.0, and it was like, oh, wow, this stuff is really coming along, isn't it? Because I had my dad had a 386 IBM at home, so we played a little bit with that thing, but other than that, no, I had no training. Now, I guess you could say like third is like when you go to art school, you have what's called AFO or Art Foundation or the 101 or whatever you're going to call it. It's like the principles and elements of design, okay? And everybody has to take it, no matter what. And what you do is you really learn how to look at things, how to look at art, how to look at any kind of content and see how it's designed geometrically and in terms of color, in terms of how it affects people. That's a critical thing about any artist that's going to kind of differentiate them from, someone who likes art or someone who can paint really well. If you don't have that fundamental foundation in Bauhaus training of Gestalt and the regular stuff like typography and all that, there's just the fundamentals and principles of design that if you don't know them, you better be really naively talented.
I'm real big on justification on CD covers, having left justify, right and up and down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a small, part of it. Why do you put something left justify? Why do you put something right justify? Why do you put something in knockout rather than in, black on white? Why do you have anything at all? Why are there words there? There's a lot of things where you need an understanding of the elements and principles of design. And you can get that from any school can do that.
Yeah, because I'll tell people, can you make the picture justify, the left edge justify with the top title of the band and the bottom title of the album name? And
I mean, you're a client. You have a lot of projects that you have an idea about how to do them. And then when you give them to a graphic designer, you kind of tell them to change it a lot. And they'll change it for you, but if you're not versed in the elements and principles of design, then they won't be smart changes, and the person that you're telling to do the work to will kind of be upset about it.
Yeah, and so I have to do that because I'm a client. Speaking of that, tell the people out there where you work and...
Up there. I work at an ad agency for 30 years.
A big New York one, right?
A big global one.
Wow, and I don't know if you want to tell the name because...
It wouldn't matter. I mean, it's not really relevant to...
It is on...
Yeah, I just don't... It's like, you can find me if you want me. I'm Rob Conger.
It's near all those other big ones, I believe, in that...
I'm all there.
And so what have you been doing today? Because you're working online a little, or do you work today a little? Or what have you been doing this month lately?
What have I been doing this month?
You know, for work.
Oh, for work, just PowerPoint.
Famous people for ads or...
You know, advertising is a lot about strategy, okay? So it's also a lot about kissing ass. But besides that, when you go to a client, you have to make things look specifically how you think they want them to see the things that you're showing them. That takes a lot of making things consistent, making things look a certain way to a particular style of our brand or of a brand that we're trying to introduce to them, right? And that all goes back to like the elements and principles of style. I have dozens of clients that think they know how to design, and maybe they do, maybe they've even had some background, but they don't know that we're doing stuff in a specific style. Regardless of what they know, advertising is a lot of just boring strategy work. It's not very glamorous.
But you got in some famous magazines, and have you done a New York City subway poster ad?
Sure, dozens.
Neat. That's glamorous.
Nothing gets designed by one person in advertising. Nothing. There used to be like kind of the Picasso era of advertising where DDB would come up with this great ad for the VW Beetle, or time to make the donuts. Like someone would come up with that stuff. That stuff doesn't happen very often. I worked on Dos Equis, Most Interesting Man. First of all, everybody kind of knew at the time that they were ripping off the Chuck Norris memes that were out there at the time.
What is that?
There was a meme going around at the time, before memes were memes even, and it said, Chuck Norris is so tough that, he brushes his teeth with a razor blade, or, whatever, right? And that was the Most Interesting Man. He was visited Mars, but decided not to go, whatever.
I like that meme.
Do you know what he says? Do you know his tagline? Do you remember it?
I forget.
Stay thirsty, my friends. No one person made that up. That took years to develop.
How about, does Bruce Lee have a famous meme?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah, so advertising's not what people think it is.
Do you work with the Darren Stevens, I think it was, on Bewitched? Wasn't he the ad salesman one?
He was kind of like a creative director, but also not the weirdo. Like a lot of times they have weirdo visionaries, and he was more of the like client side guy. So there's usually two people that do Darren's job.
Well, Larry was his boss.
Yeah, but there's usually like an artist that does his job. They bring a creative to explain the concepts of what Darren's showing them.
Yeah, and you think back then Darren did kind of both jobs or something?
I just think that it would be silly to have, no, they still did that, they still do what we do, but that was a TV show.
Right, so they had to simplify. And he had a witch at home that he had a secret life.
I guess so, yeah.